Hello everyone, this is in continuation to various topics we are seeing in introduction of statistics topic. Next one is frequency. What is frequency? It is about the number of occurrences of a particular event which is repeating per unit of time, or we can say it is the number of times a given quantity occurs in a data set. Let's take an example of scores. Here the scores are already arranged in ascending order. We may notice it is 1, 1, 2, 2 is repeating around 6 times, 1 is repeating around 2 times, 3 is repeating around 4 times, 4 is repeating around 2 times, and 5 is occurring only once. So in this example, we may note the frequency of occurrence of 2 is, of course, 6 already we said. Like that, individual measures or individual quantities are having a different count of occurrences. That count of occurrences, we call it as frequency. Then a frequency distribution. The table in which the data are segregated into classes and the number of cases which fall in each class are recorded. Not exactly class, we can say each score, whatever we had seen here, 1, 2, 3, etc. And that count is written here. 1 is occurring 2 times, 2 is occurring 6 times, 3 is occurring 4 times, 4 is occurring 2 times, and 5 is occurring 1 times. Such type of distribution for individual scores, how much is the occurrence of individual scores? If we represent it in a tabular form, we call it as a frequency distribution. Then there are different types of frequency distribution. One is discrete or ungrouped frequency distribution. The previous example is actually the discrete ungrouped frequency distribution. Then we have grouped frequency distribution, continuous grouped frequency distribution, and finally cumulative frequency distribution. We will see individually with an example what are all this. Ungrouped frequency distribution, I am considering a new example of marks scored by different students. Marks of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40. And total number of students in that class is 60. Number of students who scored 5 marks is 1, who scored 10 marks is 4, like that. Number of students who scored 40 marks is 2. We may notice the maximum number of students who comes under marks is maximum number of students in this is 25, who has scored 20 marks. We can say this particular 20 is our modal marks, or the mode of these marks is because the number of students are very high in that particular category. So the modal marks, we can say it is 20. Then the same data, I can group it in the sense I can create a group like 5 to 15 as one group together, 5 to 15 as one group, in which case I will be adding this number of students, 1 plus 4, 5, 5 plus 5, 10. So that is what is depicted here. 5 to 15 is 10. And then I can create one more 20 to 30. If I do that, then the total frequency or the total number of students is 45. That is what is depicted in this 20 to 30 is 45. And then balance 30 to 40, 35 to 40, I'll create one more group. And that total will become now 5. That is expressed here. So this already we had grouped into different categories. We call this as a grouped frequency distribution. But you may notice this is not continuous because it is ending at 15, starting at 20, ending at 30, starting at 35. There is no continuity in the groups. So I can say this is actually not continuous. Now, if I want to make it continuous, what I will do is I will look into the first class limit. 5 is the lower limit, 15 is the upper limit. Here 20 is the lower limit, 30 is the upper limit. I will consider the lower limit of the first class, lower limit of first class, which is I will call it as LL of class 1 is 15, and then upper limit of, I'm sorry, upper limit of first class, I should say. This is upper limit of first class. Okay, of class 1 is 15, and then I will consider lower limit of second class, lower limit of class 2, which is actually 20. I will consider the difference between these two. Difference I will take, and then I will divide the difference by 2, which means it is 20 minus 15 divided by 2. We get what? 2.5, which means I will increase this by 2.5. All the upper limits, I will increase it by 2.5. Lower limit, I will decrease it by 2.5, because I'm doing it for all the classes. Reason is the gap between each of the classes 5. 20 minus 15 is 5. 35 minus 30 is also 5. So I can adopt this 2.5. I may decrease it in the lower limit. I may increase 2.5 in the upper limit in each of the class to create continuous grouped frequency distribution, which is there in the next slide. That is, see this 5, I subtracted 2.5 and made it into 2.5. And then 15, I added 2.5, made it into 17.5. Similarly, this 20, I'm subtracting 2.5. 30, I'm adding 2.5. So this 20 will become now 17.5, and this 30 will become now 32.5. Okay, same way, here I will subtract 2.5. It will become 32.5. This will become 42.5. And then the count is considered the same, because for 5 to 15, if it is 10, there is nothing in between. There is nothing before that available. So that count will be 10 only. This count will be 45 only. This count will be 5 only. This is called as a continuous grouped frequency distribution. Then let us move on. Cumulative. Same data I took. The first two rows are the same. What is there here? 10, 45, 5, 60, and then 2.5 to 17.5 up to 42.5. It is the same. Now, if I want how many students have scored marks less than 17.5, we may notice it is 10 only. That is why it is 10. How many students have scored marks less than 32.5? That means this and this should be added to get this 55. So this is simply like this 10 added to this 45 to get this 55, right? Similarly, this 55 is added to this 5 to get this 60. So this is basically 55 is basically 10 plus 45. And this is actually 55 plus 5 to get this less than type of cumulative frequency, right? Because we are calling it as cumulative because we are keep on adding it. Then next type of cumulative frequency is the more than type. Marks more than 2.5. If I consider marks more than 2.5, it is the complete class. Everybody has scored more than 2.5. So I will write 60. Then marks greater than 17.5 or more than 17.5 will be, I should subtract this 10. That means this 50 we got it by subtracting 60. I mean, this 60 minus this 10 I'm subtracting. And then this 5, how did I get? This 50 minus this 45 I'm subtracting. This type of cumulative frequency is called as more than type cumulative frequency. If I plot against this class intervals, means I'm considering, if I consider this class intervals as x-axis and I plot this less than type cumulative frequency on the y-axis, considering this as in the y-axis, and if I plot it, whatever graph I will get, that is called as less than type ogive. Similarly, considering this in the class intervals in the x-axis, and if I plot this greater than type of cumulative frequency in y-axis, I will get what is called as more than type ogive. After drawing these two ogives, the intersecting point of these two curves will give you median by drawing a perpendicular from the intersecting point to meet the x-axis. We will get that median value graphically also, right? So that is about cumulative frequency distribution. In case if you find the contents of this video to be useful to you, I request you to please like it, share it with your friends, and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you.